Welcome to the EmpowerElle podcast. I'm your host, Vero, and I'm so excited to have you join me on this journey of empowerment and growth. This podcast is designed for ambitious, high-achieving women who are ready to break free from overwhelm and step into their power. Together, we'll explore practical strategies, share inspiring stories, and hear from experts who can help you navigate the challenges of balancing ambition and well-being. Whether you're looking to cultivate confidence, transform your mindset, enhance your leadership skills, or find harmony in your life, this is the place for you. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to the EmpowerElle podcast. I'm your host, Vero, and I'm so glad that you're here to learn about something that could shift the way that you lead and live. Today's conversation is all about confidence. So take a deep breath and let's dive in. Do you ever feel like you're not good enough, no matter how much you achieve? What if I told you that your self-doubt is not a sign of weakness, but it's actually a habit that you can break? Many high achievers out there feel like imposters despite their success. And self-doubt can really hinder us. It can lead to missed opportunities. Maybe if you're offered an opportunity, you will say no because you think that you are not good enough and not up to the standard. You probably won't try to find opportunities or create opportunities for yourself. You'll constantly think that you are not worth having those opportunities. Self-doubt could also lead to burnout from overcompensating. If you doubt yourself, you might try to be perfect. You might try to do it all, try to be strong, try to not ask for help. These are all things that we tend to do when we don't feel like we're enough at our core. All of those things are not natural to do and they take so much of our energy. And they could very well lead to a burnout. Self-doubt might also cause you to not accept praise or compliments. You might dismiss it as being not a big deal or respond with, oh, I'm not actually good at that. Look at what I'm bad at. Or if someone says like, hey, you look really pretty today, you might say, look at you, you're the pretty one. Not taking those compliments because you don't think that you deserve them. So people who struggle with self-doubt, there's common thought patterns that we say to ourselves constantly, whether it's, I'm not ready yet, or they'll find out that I'm a fraud and I'm not actually that good, or I just got lucky, I'm not actually skilled. These can be really detrimental to how you feel about yourself, how you move in life. And it might really get in the way of growing. So imagine if you could be confident, get rid of some of that self-doubt. What would your life look like if you embrace your worth? It could open doors to making confident decisions. Now, when we make a decision, you can ruminate on that decision forever and ever and ever. But you won't actually know if it's the right decision until you make it and you take action. So if you know your worth and you can make a confident decision, you can take the action a lot sooner and adjust if needed. At least you're moving. Embracing your worth could also allow you to have healthier relationships in your life. If you're more able to take care of yourself, you will create real relationships with people. Number one, because they will actually be able to see the real you, because you will be happy and free, and you won't be putting on this facade of being someone different because you don't love and value the person that you actually are. And you also won't accept anything less than you deserve when you know your worth. If someone is not treating you as they should or as you want to be treated, you won't put up for that when you know what your value is. You'll also be allowed to have real conversations with people. Because, like I said, you won't have that barrier or that mask of being someone different. Embracing your worth could also bring you increased visibility and leadership. When you respect yourself, it shows. You can just tell when someone truly believes that they're a good person and that they can provide that to others. And respecting yourself will cause others to respect you, but it will also cause others to see that they should be respecting themselves. And the more that that happens, the more that you will be influential and impactful and will be seen as a leader. So I think when you have that self-worth and that confidence, it makes it a lot easier to maybe ask for a raise or a promotion that you so desperately want and that you've been working so hard for. Maybe we'll help you to launch a passion project, a business like this one. I could have never imagined or launched this business 5 years ago when my confidence was down in the drains and when I thought I was worthless and that I couldn't do anything right. I needed to get some of that confidence and that worth to see that I should be chasing my dreams. And self-worth and confidence will also allow you to speak confidently in front of others. I have always liked sharing my message, but I used to be really shy and not want to share in front of people. And now I really love it because, listen, what is the worst that can happen? That you mess up? And what if you mess up? That's just showing your true self, your authenticity. You are going to hear in this podcast, I am going to mess up, and it's okay. I'm not going to cut all of that out. You're not here for perfection. You're here for authenticity, to see the real me, and to really hear what I have to say. And listen, if you didn't know this already, I am a French girly. So all of this speaking in English, sometimes it will come out great and sound so good, and sometimes I stumble on my word, or I don't pronounce something properly, or my grammar's off. But it doesn't matter. It's who I am, and it doesn't hinder the message that I'm trying to give. Here's another example of how a lack of confidence has really impacted me in my life. And listen, talking about perfection and confidence, you probably hear the dogs barking right now. Well, I am recording this in my house. You will hear all of these podcast episodes from my house. And I have 2 dogs and I love them so much. And they're not always quiet. And I cannot always make them be quiet. And I cannot just wait for the perfect moment to do this. I need to have the belief in myself and the confidence in myself to know that the content will still be good. And that if you are my people, you will not care about a little bit of barking in the background. I hope you're still going to be here, even if there is barking in the background. So let's go back to how this has impacted me in my life. One of the pivotal moments that I can think of was as I was doing my CPA. So up to that point in my life, I lived a life of doing what others expected of me. And I had that identity of being someone who is smart in school and someone who doesn't fail. And I was so afraid of failure. And when I started my CPA for module one, we needed a 60 to pass, and I got a 61. And that day, I cried the entire day. I was so upset. Even if I didn't actually fail, to me, it felt like a failure. I was so close, and I couldn't imagine that I would pass any other part of my CPA if I could barely pass that first module. I felt so small, and I felt not good enough. I just wanted to give up all of that. But the impact of that is that I also brought that over to my job. I then started feeling like I wasn't smart and I wasn't good enough and I couldn't achieve my CPA, which means I was not a good accountant, which means I was bad at my job. And since that was the language that was happening in my head, then no, I was not doing the best job ever. And it's not because I wasn't capable, but it's because I was telling myself that I wasn't good at it. Enough so that I believed it, so I had to prove myself right that I wasn't good enough. So I produced results that were subpar. But I was new, like it was normal that I didn't know everything and I wasn't that great. But I just wanted to be perfect right away. We often think that confidence comes from success. So once you achieve something, you will be confident. But it's actually the other way around. Confidence comes from taking action and seeing what happens. When you take action, you'll see that nothing bad happens. The world did not explode. It's, we make these scenarios in our head of what will happen when we take action. But when we actually do and we see the result, that's how we grow our confidence. And we also grow our confidence from keeping the promises that we make to ourselves. Imagine if you had a friend that every time you made plans with them, they would just not show up. You would end up not trusting that person and not having confidence in that person. But yet we break those promises with ourselves so easily. We tell ourselves that we are going to work out, or that we are going to read a book, or that we are going to launch that business, or that we are going to follow our dreams, or that we're going to eat healthy. But we don't follow through. And when you don't follow through, you are telling yourself that you are not important enough to keep that promise with yourself. And so you lose trust and you lose confidence with yourself. So I think the biggest way to build that confidence is to do what you say you are going to do. Because you wouldn't let somebody else down. So why are you okay with letting yourself down? Okay, let me give you a few steps that I think are really important to building your confidence and building your self-worth. So I'm sure you probably have a little voice inside your head that is feeding you all of that self-doubt and that is telling you that you are not good enough. Recognize that voice without judgment. So you also don't want to say, "Ugh, here I go again, telling myself that I'm not good enough." No, that is judgment. Instead, just say, "Oh, here I go. That voice was there again." We recognize it and we stop it. Another tip is to track your wins. Listen, you are good enough. You are great at your job. You are a wonderful mother, partner, sister, daughter. But we forget those things and we believe the voice of self-doubt instead. So create a list of your wins, whether they're big or small, your achievements or what people tell you that you're good at. And when you feel down about yourself, go back to that list. A third item is to practice affirmations. So they should start with I am. And they should be something that you actually believe. So if you don't yet believe that you're worthy, maybe I am worthy is not a great affirmation for you. But maybe it can be, I am working every day on bettering my self-worth. That is something that is true, and that is something that you can believe. But know that you are capable, you are worthy, you are ready, you are smart, you are good enough. So keep telling yourself. The next thing is to set micro goals. So prove to yourself what is actually possible, but do it one step at a time. If having a huge goal seems too big and too overwhelming for you, and that's where you get into that spiral of self-doubt, set yourself a smaller goal, something that you can actually achieve. And when you do it, you will be proud of yourself. You will feel confident. You will see that you can actually achieve what you set your mind to. And the last thing is to surround yourself with people that will encourage you. Make sure that your community, your circle is there to cheer you on. And it doesn't have to be a big circle. Maybe some of the people in your current circle are just feeding into that negativity. Maybe you should spend less time with those people and find the people that actually build you up. So if you've heard that confidence comes after success, that is not true. Confidence grows through your actions. If you tell yourself that you are not ready and that you constantly doubt yourself, it is not true. Doubt is actually really common before a big period of growth. And if you tell yourself that you need to be perfect to be valued, that is definitely not true. Vulnerability and progress matter a hell of a lot more than perfection. So let's recap. Self-doubt is actually a habit. It is not your identity. You can interrupt the pattern by tracking your wins, by taking small steps, and by shifting your self-talk. And everyone doubts themselves sometimes. What matters is to not let it control your actions. So this week, I would love for you to think through, where have you let self-doubt make a decision for you this week? And write down 3 recent wins and say them aloud every day for the next 7 days. I would love for you to DM me on Instagram with one way that you're embracing your worth this week and how it's making you feel. You can reach me at Vero_Normando or EmpowerElle. And I urge you to keep choosing yourself, your vision, and your values. That is real power. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the EmpowerElle podcast. I hope today's episode inspired you and gave you practical insights to help you navigate your journey as an ambitious, high-achieving woman. Remember, every step you take towards building your confidence and embracing your full potential is a step closer to creating the life you truly desire. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps us reach more women who are ready to step into their power and live their best lives. Don't forget to join our community on social media for more resources, tips, and inspiration. Until next time, lead with power and live with wellness. You are unstoppable.